What's good, everybody? Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's having a beautiful day so far. I hope everyone's had a great week. Yeah, man, we made it to Friday. It's the weekend, baby. It's the weekend. We made it, man. We made it. We're here. We're finally here, and welcome. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and any topic that comes our way as accurate as we can. And today, first and foremost, happy July 4th to everyone there. I hope everyone had a great time with family, friends, anybody you were hanging out with, anyone that you were supposed to be hanging out with, anyone you're not supposed to be. I hope everyone had a fucking great time yesterday, man. A lot of people were off. A lot of people barbecuing, just kicking it with family. I hope everyone had a great time yesterday. So that's first and foremost. And today, obviously, the Olympics is right around the corner, and we have Steph Curry as the first arrival out of the Team USA players, and right off of July 4th too, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. And also, we're going to be talking about how Draymond Green reacted to hearing the Klay Thompson signing to the Dallas Mavericks. And I also have some thoughts on some of these new NBA players. Khalil Ware, literally like Kal-El, like Superman's, like I was mind blown by his name. But anyway, so he gave his top 5, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But first and foremost, I don't even have the thing. I don't even know if I'm allowed to play it. That's why I didn't even bother. I know he wasn't, but Kendrick Lamar on July 4th of all days dropped his Not Like Us music video. And it was a great video. It was a great video. Had made fun of Drake. He was trolling Drake the whole time. It was great. There's folks out there that are getting mad that he keep going, like, bro, he got every right to do this, right? Like, regardless of what you think or how you feel about, this beef or Drake or who Drake is or the music, you can't deny that Drake was one of the biggest artists, if not the biggest artist of the last decade. And honestly, the biggest artist, in my opinion, is not even close. I don't even know how you argue anyone else. But the biggest hip-hop artist in the last 10 to 15 years. And this is, to me, it's like he slayed the dragon. It's like Kendrick slayed the dragon. And I know a lot of folks were rooting for Kendrick or expected regardless of the fact, he took down the big dog. And he's parading with his head. He's parading around, walking around with his head. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. I've said it before. He's every possible decision that he could have made in this beef, from the posts, from the songs, to the lines, to the beats, to the stuff that he's posted on social media, the way he's responded to creators, the way that everything has been flawless. It's a flawless victory, like literally flawless victory in his part. Now, but yeah, so congrats to him, man. He's having a massive, I guess we're at the halfway point of the year, so yeah, having just a great year so far. Really the last month or two, but he's done all of the right things with it. More importantly, the quote unquote hip hop, like the purists, the people that love, oh, this is what hip hop is, even though we all know that hip hop is very different from what it used to be. But yeah, there's a lot of those people that feel that way about it, and a lot of people think it's a win, which I think it is, right? It's a win for hip hop and for Kendrick and West Coast and LA rappers and music in general. But yeah, man, the music video is really dope. You should go watch it. It was really, really dope. Now, we got to talk about this fool. I literally seen like, all I saw was dead ass this, and then I went and seen what actually happened. But what's good with this dude, bro? Ryan Garcia has been expelled from the WBC because of some, you say some crazy shit. Yeah, you say some crazy shit, bro. Let me see what it says over here. From Mauricio Suleiman. He says, exercising my authority as the president of the WBC, I'm hereby expelling Ryan Garcia from any activity with our organization. We reject any form of discrimination. I fear for Ryan's well-being as he has declined multiple attempts for our help with mental health and substance abuse. So, yeah. Now, you go from, we're just talking about Kendrick has been having a great month. You go to Ryan Garcia, who's on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, and he's been having the worst time. He got popped for cheating. Even and the crazy part is in all of this is this should have been a celebration. This should have been his parade, right? Had he gotten weight, if he wasn't fighting dirty, right? This part was supposed to be his little victory lap. He would have the belt, and he would be a prize fight still, and so many things would be going his way. But everything, ever since that weight, he got popped for the steroids, and obviously everyone leading up to the fight, his quote unquote antics, everyone was just saying, oh, he's selling the fight, or a couple people saying he's lashing out or he's crying for help, and it's continued ever since then. And this is a guy that clearly needs some help. This is a guy, he clearly needs some help. And the videos of him, he don't look like he's in shape. I get that, he just fought and he's not in any training camp, but the kid that was, always in shape, granted he's doing Instagram videos, but he was always in shape. It's not the same kid. Whatever he's got going on, whatever he's doing, it's clouding his judgment. It's clouding what he's doing. Like he's spiraling down right before our eyes, and this is looking like someone who got a taste of that stardom, got a taste of that fame, and they got drunk off of it. And we're seeing right before our eyes the fall of someone that could have had something. I personally never thought he was this great boxer. He had speed and he had good power. And we've seen speed, he's not faster than Tank. Power, we saw that. In terms of a boxer, I never thought he was a very polished fighter. He had some tools, obviously, right? But now we're seeing all of it crash. His social media personality, that's crashing. His professional career, boxing, crashing. Everything for him is falling down, and this is clearly a guy he's losing everything at the moment. And we gotta, a lot of folks think I'm like a fucking Ryan Garcia fan, but I think he really does need help. He really needs actual help, and someone needs to go to go and help that kid out, because he really is a kid. And I know he's older, but he's younger still. You know what I'm saying? He really needs help and some guidance. So I hope that he goes and gets some help, man, because he's wilding right now. Now, speaking of substances, the NCAA Division I removes cannabis from banned drugs list for all sports. For all sports, not just one sport, for all of them, right? So, and their statement says the NCAA drug testing program is intended to focus on integrity of competition, and cannabis products do not provide competitive advantage. The council's focus is on policies centered on student-athlete health and well-being rather than punishment for cannabis use. Basically, to me, that's saying this cannabis can be used in a way that's not necessarily unsafe or a danger to someone's well-being, right? And following the NBA's lead, because on the surface, right, everyone wants to say, oh, the NBA lifted the ban because everybody in the NBA smokes. True, right? But I think people are missing a part of this. People in the NBA are now tied into the cannabis industry. They have a business in the cannabis industry. Al Harrington, former basketball player, NBA player, really good role player, right? He's been a proponent of cannabis for a long time. He's been in the business for a long time. And he has spoken to David Stern, God rest his soul, and also Adam Silver regarding the business and integrating it. Not just banning it, but integrating it for health and medicinal use. So this is no surprise to me, because one, you want the players to play. And if you're gonna start, and if guys are gonna start testing positive for cannabis, then guys are gonna start missing games, and they don't want that. And if they don't deem it to be something that is a performance enhancing drug, and it's not something that they're in the game, like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's in the game smelling like, then it's all good. And the NCAA clearly is now following suit, because that's just the reality of it, right? It's just the reality of it. And obviously modern science is catching up, and change is happening. And I think this is going to be something that's gonna be uniform down the line, right? Everyone is gonna start following this line of thinking, because it's really not a performance enhancing drug. Like, it's like, come on, like, it's not a performance enhancing drug. And now, if anyone remembers, this video had gone viral. This video had gone viral of Keisei Tominaga, who is getting I think it's an Exhibit 10 deal with the Indiana Pacers, right? And he had gone viral because of this.
Here comes the money ball. If he makes this, he wins. He's waiting for the buzzer.
Steph Curry stop.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. You can't be serious about that. My man waited for the buzzer.
That's cold.
Let it go and looked at the crowd.
That's cold-blooded. So, Keisei Taminaga was... What team is this? So this is the first thing that I wanted to know. What is an Exhibit 10 contract? It is a 1-year minimum salary NBA contract with no bonuses. The team can convert that contract into a 2-way deal before the start of the regular season. And now here it says Taminaga helped the Huskers last season to their first March Madness tournament appearance in a decade. He finished his final collegiate season averaging 15.1 points per game, and he also made 76 three-pointers on 36% shooting. So he's going to be on the Indiana Pacers. Obviously, a lot of confidence in that jump shot, right? A lot of confidence. And obviously, folks are gonna be quick to compare him to Jeremy Lin. And for me, I really haven't seen this kid play much. But what I will say with regards to Jeremy Lin is this. It's not just Jeremy Lin. Confidence is such a key factor in this game, right? In a game where so much is happening so quickly, you're reacting to stuff. There's so much preparation and studying and tendencies and numbers and percentages that someone has to learn. And then when they go out there on the floor, having to execute from possession to possession, when there's changes, when they're doing something, when there's a different lineup, so much is happening, and you have to adjust to things on the fly. And a key part in all of that is being confident. Because when you're confident, it sometimes doesn't matter when you're making a mistake or doing the right thing, right? Because a confident player can come right back from it, make a mistake. What do they always talk about? They instant memory loss. Move on right away from a play, right? A confident player is able to go right into the next play, not taking into account, whether they fucked up or not in that last play. A confident player can also make the wrong play and make something out of it. Have the confidence to try something and do something, right? To make a play. Now, when you take that quality away from a player, we saw it with Jeremy Lin. I think we've seen it with Jordan Poole. We've seen these players, people wonder. They're like, what the fuck happened to that guy? Yo, he used to be so good and so. Or what happened? There are certain players that are really good in certain aspects of the game. When you take them out of those situations, and then they start performing really bad, and then they start thinking, wait, what the I know I'm not this bad. And then everyone starts questioning them, and then the coach starts, what are you doing? Trying to do different things, pushing you further and further away from what you do well. Then you get a player that's a complete shell of who they used to be. You get a player that's, imagine a wild animal that's all of a sudden been caged up constantly over time, because the trainer don't understand how to read that animal. You don't understand the things that you're just doing it based off of what you think is happening. I don't think coaches realized that Jeremy Lin was a end of the game, end of a quarter type of player. Why? He's high turnovers. He's not a great jump shooter. How is it possible that he could be that much of a better player at the end of a quarter and at the end of a games? I could tell you why. Because he's 6'3", 6'4", so he's a decent height, right? Lanky, has enough athleticism. But guess what happens at the end of a quarter and at the end of games? Teams are in foul trouble. All of a sudden, every time someone reaches what would have been a tap, or what would have been a potential missed call, all of a sudden he's drawing fouls all over the place. All of a sudden they have to back up ultimate confidence and green light to take those shots. Gotta know what you're dealing with. Jordan Poole all of a sudden starts excelling off of the bench. Gotta know what you're dealing with. Not everyone is, everyone has this idea that, they're sixth man, they're a great sixth man. Just put him at a starter. Not realizing a starter's process versus a bench player's process is completely different. Completely different. What you're responsible, you get to come in, shit's already Jordan Poole's style of play. Think about the way that he plays the game. It's this freestyle, herky jerky. It don't like he just go with the flow. So when you throw him in the middle of a game, he can find his way because he lives in chaos. And there's someone in front of him that he knows is responsible for all that other shit. So he just gets to go and do what he wants. Guess what? Ultra confident. Ultimate confidence, honestly. The ultimate confidence. All of a sudden, you get a player like that to become a starter as your starting point guard of a team. And then you wonder, what the fuck? How did that? How is it not happening? Because you take away his freedom to be creative, because especially in the beginning of a game, you have to be able to manage it. You have to be able to get good shots early. You can't just get in there and start chucking shit. So you put a leash on him, and all of a sudden he's like, wait, what the and I got off on a tangent, but confidence is key, right? That's something that you don't want to get taken away from a player, especially someone like him, who from that clip, Keisei Tominaga, is a confident player. Find out what he does well. Try to see if you could put him in that situation consistently based on the team that you have. And if you think he's valuable, then start seeing how you can put him in that situation more often and build around it. I'm not saying make him a star, but if he's really a confident shooter like that, and use that. But oftentimes they get their confidence stripped from them, and then like shit spirals. And then people wonder what the fuck happened, right? Yeah, I know I got on a little tangent over there, but yeah, a lot, because for me, watching these guys play, I know I didn't play at a high level, but I know what impact confidence has, listening to these podcasts. Like, I'm able to put two and two together, and it's you can see it. You can see what happens when he's a confident player, when there's flashes of it, right? Now, this did get me thinking, because he can potentially end up on the Pacers G League team, which are the Mad Ants. And if anyone has played 2K, in my career, then you would know that was one of the teams that they had used in the storyline where, I don't remember if he had gotten into a car accident and then he was trying to make it back. He was playing some game, got some shine. He was popular in high school. So it was like this big thing, got a chance, rival. It was all this shit, right? With the NBA now, right? We saw, what's the fucking league? What's that fucking basketball league? What's that fucking Instagram one, bro? There's that fucking Instagram YouTube one, but they got, now it's different where it's not just you have to go through high school, AAU, and then get to college, and then get to the NBA. We've seen, players go overseas and come back. We saw that with Brandon Jennings. We're seeing this with Keisei Tominaga, playing through college, now potentially going to the G League team. Is this 2K my career storyline possible in real life? Is it possible that we see something like one of those stories play out in real life? And I'm be honest with you, it looks like it, because the times that we're in now with social media, there's a guy that I'm the corporate hooper. There's another guy on Instagram that I follow, a 30-year-old, trying to become a pro, and obviously definition of pro is different. Could go overseas and whatnot. I've always had the belief if somebody could pay you 6 figures to go play some basketball, like that's a dream come true. Like I'm gonna be honest, if somebody could tell you you can go and make your $100,000 a year and go play basketball, that's phenomenal. That's fantastic. And so obviously that's different now, but in terms of the NBA, yeah, I can see it. I mean, just let's say like Mikey Williams, for example, with all the shit that he's been through with the gun stuff and all that shit. I know he's gone through a bunch of problems and shit like that. Someone like him, who had so much hype coming up, let's say he don't get drafted or whatnot, somehow finds his way into the NBA. His life would basically be that like 2K my career shit. And obviously, like I said, with social media, what was that dude on the Lakers a couple years ago? He finally signed like a 10-day, and then he had he played really well. We're in this new era and this new time where it is very possible, right? There's so many different avenues now to get into the NBA, to get recognition, to get seen. We're seeing these tapes from all over Europe now, these fucking pixelated ass videos of these guys, and they end up getting drafted. It's, I think we're not far off from seeing something like this, where the story of their path to the NBA is gonna be so crazy. But yeah, it got me thinking, because that Keisei Tominaga, he about to be on the Mad Ants, and he's looking like a 2K my career life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he ends up in the NBA. That's dope. Like, that's sick for him, man. That's sick. Now, what else did we see? Oh, here it is. Now, talking about international stuff, the Olympics is right around the corner, and
Let's get it.
the Steph Curry's there, baby.
So what are you looking forward to?
Everything, man. You got 39 days or so to get locked in to go get this gold medal. 12 amazing, talented guys really come together for one goal. So I'm hyped for it all. It's been, this is 10 years since I was on Team USA back in 2014. So I'm hyped to be back.
So, there's Steph Curry arriving for Team USA. Mind you, it was just July 4th. This man left his whole family, dog. The fuck? You pieced up after dinner? Like, why are you there so early? Like, I'm seeing this. He the first one there. Dog, you got a family. I'm over here thinking, like, it maybe Tyrese get there early. Ant Edwards get there early. Steph Curry? What the fuck? Yo, he's gotta be pissed. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, right? He over here, he's seen Klay Thompson with the Bahamas team. He's like, I'm about to kick y'all fucking ass. He over here, he's probably heated. He's probably on the plane like, yeah, I'm about to go take this shit. He was hot, bro. Like, why else are you, like, you got on a red eye to get, like, they not gonna start practice until everybody get there. Like, why are you so early, dog? But yeah, Steph, early as fuck, real punctual, real punctual. Left his family on July 4th to get to Team USA super early. Which leads me to my next question. And some people might think that this is outrageous, but does Steph Curry need an Olympic gold medal for his legacy? Steph is widely regarded as the best shooter ever. A lot of people, especially recently, have been arguing for him as the best point guard ever. I know Heath feels like he's the best point guard ever. Obviously still one of the best players in the NBA today, even at, what is he now, 32 or something like that? How old is he? He's 36. Jesus Christ, I'm way off. 36. What the fuck? God damn. But, excuse me, 36-year-old Steph Curry, still one of the best players in the league. And does he need an Olympic gold? Maybe not. Although I will say everyone else, Steph Curry, Kevin, in his era, all the greats of his era, right? Talking LeBron, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul at his position. I think Russ Westbrook has one, right? Melo, Kobe, obviously, rest in peace. Everyone in his era has a gold medal. Anthony Davis even has one from early on, right? When he was a rookie coming into the league, right? Unibrow with the baldy, right? Unibrow with the baldy, bro. So obviously that was, everyone in his era has one. And all the greats, Magic, Jordan, Bird, Shaq has one. All the greats have a gold medal. I won't take him off of no list because he does or doesn't have a gold medal, though. I'll be honest. Like, for me, that doesn't move the needle, but so much for him, right? For some folks, it might, but for me, I don't think that determines how great of a player he is. I have plenty of footage that tells me how good Steph Curry is. I do think that he needs this for his mental right now, though. They won the championship 2 years ago. Didn't make the playoffs last year. Didn't make the playoffs this year. Draymond is getting older with him. They just lost Klay Thompson. Jordan Poole, obviously, they left this past season, last year. Nothing Steph, KD, Bron, D Rose, and Sarr can do anymore can change their legacy. They have messed up, but they're allowed to. All those guys have been nothing over great for their careers. Yes, I agree. I agree, Elijah. What's good, man? I don't think it does anything for his career, but I do think that this can do a lot for Steph Curry right now. In the middle of the fucking, it seems like the whole building is falling right before him. At least he can have a little gold medal in the palm of his hand to say, you know what, this isn't so bad. And then when he looks at that gold, he could say, you know what, I am a 4-time champion. You know what, I do have MVPs, and then go down his list. All of those guys can relax. They're at the mountaintop and have done it all. But I do agree, it would help a lot with mentality right now. Yeah, facts. For him, it's just, maybe it's one of those things, you just need a victory. I've been kind of on their team, the rosters that they're trying to create right now. It looks fucking god awful. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, that shit looks trash, and it's gonna be a whole lot more of Steph Curry doing some Steph Curry shit. And to your point, Elijah, what I was going to say next, maybe he goes on a run and runs the table for an MVP award at age 36, 37. Now, obviously, that's a hard feat. But we've seen how players come off of these USA Olympic runs, right? And someone like Steph, who has never gotten to go through that experience, maybe it gives him a little bit of a boost. A lot of folks have been calling for him as one of the best players, maybe an MVP candidate if his team was doing better. What if this does something to him and pushes him over the top like that? So, at the end of his career, closing out his career, maybe he doesn't get these title runs because his team fucking sucks. But he can run the table for some maybe personal accolades. And I know that we don't, that players don't play for that. But we're fucking human, man. Like, let's call shit what it is. Let's not pretend like in the middle of all this, if Steph Curry come out of the end of this year with a gold medal and an MVP award, and let's say they get bounced out of the first round or fight to the second round of the playoffs, that he's not going to look back and say, I fucking did that shit, bro. Like, come on, let's call it what it is. Like, that could go good for him. And honestly, something like that, obviously that's not the Olympic, but the boost, yeah, another MVP award could put him over the top for some people in those all-time debates. Get it, that's not everything, but yeah, an additional MVP award, a crazy season could put him over the top. Who knows, right? He is MVP candidate, but people don't treat the award like that. The year his team didn't make the playoffs 21 season, I felt he should have won. Yeah, and there's that too, right? There was just was it soccer or was it hockey recently where the losing team got the MVP award? Because like sometimes when someone just play and balls out, like there's nothing you could do. Like if someone is balling, then someone's balling, bro. Like it is what it is. So imagine Steph getting another MVP award. That would make him a 3-time MVP award, right? 1-time Finals MVP award winner. Like those accolades are starting to look like real crazy. 4-time champ, like shit. So yeah, this could indirectly help his legacy in that way, but I do think more so than anything he could use a win. And obviously he's done a lot of winning in his career now, but he could definitely use a victory right now, and beating Clay's ass in the Olympics would go a long way too. I'm pretty sure of it. So that makes me excited because maybe he's on this. If a lot of people remember when Kobe in 08, it was 08, right? In 08, and because he hadn't done the Olympics before, and he was obviously that was a seasoned Kobe Bryant, that was Shaq had already left. He was on demon time. And that Kobe was just the leadership. He was just like, obviously they had Bron, Melo, all these other guys were really great, but Kobe really assumed that role, assumed that position of just leading everybody by example, right? And even though, Bron was the vocal leader and they had Mike Krzyzewski, everyone kind of just followed followed Kobe. And maybe Steph is on that same kind of vibe right now. So, hey, man, if Steph is on demon time, the rest of the world is in trouble. All that little Euro shit y'all talking about. Yo, y'all must have forgot. all the little three-pointer shit y'all be doing. That guy in the Bay Area, yeah, y'all not fucking with him if he on, bro. So let's just hold our horses with that shit. Now, to go back to his team, there was where was it, bro? Now, obviously, the Golden State Warriors they've been going back and forth recently, and I get confused with these contract talks. Let me just keep it a buck, bro. Like, I'm stupid. Like, I don't know what the fuck they be talking about when it comes to this shit. So from my understanding, because a lot of guys have been talking about it, Klay Thompson had said something along the lines that him and his peoples had given the Warriors 4 different contracts, right? And this is, I believe, after he had turned down their 2 for $48 deal, because what he wanted was the 4 years for $100. He wanted the Draymond deal, right? And apparently, what had happened was he asked for less. So obviously the Warriors turned down the 2 for $48. He's having a bad season or whatever. And then when he comes back to them with supposedly a 2 for $40, so taking an $8 million pay cut, they told him, hold on, because they're trying to get Paul George and they're trying to do this, that, and the third. And I see a lot of guys that are talking about, oh, but they paid him when he was injured, or though they did this and that. Like, that contract's over. And he got them a ring. Like, like, people complaining, like, he got y'all a ring, right? And I get that he turned down the 2 for $48. He was trying to bet on himself. He had a bad year. He's probably not in the right place. Now we're coming to find, and we're talking about it in a second. This Warriors team, it's not all that it seemed to be, right? Not obvious. We're not there, so we don't know what it's like. But it's not what we thought it was from the outside looking in. And when it comes to someone like him who feels like he's done so much for this team, and he had a bad year. I'm sure he had a bad year. He knows that. But his bad year is 18 a game. It's his bad year. One year. 18 a game. And then, like I've said before, and then, that's your brother Draymond, but you start looking around like, nah, Dre, you're important. Nah, you're the defender. No, I get it. But then you start looking at this motherfucker got 4 points. This guy got 8 points. And then you look at the end of the year. This motherfucker averaged 8.9 points per 6-7 guys gave him 100. Like, what the fuck do you expect the guy to do? And then you give them you went lower because you understood what they were doing. You're like, all right, I want to stay with y'all. This is my guys. Da 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 da. Blah 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 blah. And they tell you hold on because they're trying to get Paul George. And don't get Paul George is a really good player in this league, has been. But let's not pretend like Paul George has gotten to these other teams and has gotten them over the hump and gotten championships. Like, let's not pretend like he's that type of guy at the moment. And I know that, Klay Thompson wasn't the guy on the Warriors, but he's got a lot to do with what's happened there. And he's shown up big in really clutch spots and really clutch games. Like, let's not pretend like Klay Thompson is not that guy. And I'm sure he was offended. And he said, wait a second, motherfucker. Like, what do you mean I gotta wait? Like, what you mean I gotta wait? Because that means if you get him, you just gonna say, fuck me to me. And he said, okay, cool, never mind. I'm out. Ultimately, everything has to end. I'm personally not going to nitpick. The best families still have disagreements. The Warriors are exactly that. I hope everyone involved with the run keeps doing well. I agree, man. I hope everyone does. But, I'm trying to see this from Klay's, because a lot of folks are giving him hell. And I'm just trying to see it from his point of view. And I'm sure it's got to be one of those situations where, yeah, that's your family. And obviously, you don't try to compare yourselves. You don't try to go at them. You're not trying to pocket watch. But I'm sure some of that happens at the end of the day. And, when you get a player like a Draymond who's so vocal and who's so out there, it's hard. And, speaking of Draymond, reportedly, Draymond Green says he didn't attempt to convince Klay Thompson to stay with the Warriors. And he's saying this after a phone call that Klay and him had, where Klay had basically said, this is what I'm doing, this was going to happen, da-da-da-da, and that's that. And this is in contrast to the conversation that he had supposedly had with Steph, where he said he told Steph not to get involved with management. So this sounds like a conversation before things had taken place, and this sounds like a conversation where things were either taking place or had already taken place. And I honestly think Klay left because he'd done a lot with those guys, and he may just want to see life outside of the Warriors. I don't think much of it. That's one thing, right? I do want to say this though. We've seen it with the Chicago Bulls and Scottie Pippen. We saw, Jeff Teague has talked about their championship team. These dynasties, it's not, rainbows and sunshine and fucking flowers, and it's not that. I think a lot of us sports fans, we see, oh my God, that's the greatest thing. That's what y'all play for. That's the tip top of the mountain. And then we start seeing falling outs like this, where it seems like there was internal stuff going on. And from the outside looking in, we're probably, I know for me initially, I'm like, what the fuck could have been the problem? Y'all won together. These are your boys. Like, you see your family. These are basically your family. But now we come to find out that this shit is not. It's not what it all seems on the from the inside. And I guess that's a lesson for, that's how everything is in life, right? Things aren't really as they always seem. And I think this could be a sign of that, right? Like, maybe Draymond isn't really that close with Klay. Or maybe he's not even that close with Steph, for example. Like, he just do his own thing. And on the court, yeah, they're cool and they're like, they get along and that's their boy. But maybe Klay and Steph are the ones that hang out. We don't know, right? But when they're talking about this team, when they're winning, the media makes it seem like everyone is best friends, and it's just like the reality is usually different from that, right? And I think we're just seeing that, it could have just been as simple as, it was just time. Maybe Klay just wanted to prove himself away from the Warriors, right? And, it was just, like I said, it was just time. Everyone has been in homes with family for a long time. Sometimes you just get fucking annoyed of them, right? They ain't even got to do nothing. You left the motherfucking milk in the top shelf. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it be like that. You get away from them. You're like, shit, I was kind of bugging that day. But it could be that simple. Or, like I said, this could just be, things weren't really all that. And they were a great team, a great collection of talent, great basketball minds. But, like I said, maybe it just wasn't everything that we thought it was, right? Maybe, not what we all kind of like wanted and hoped for, right? But yeah, let's move on to the OKC Thunder, man. I've been thinking about this team a lot because obviously they had picked up my boy Isaiah Hartenstein, right? And they got Alex Caruso. And I keep wondering where those points are going to come from this team, right? And I wonder if a part of it is they really believe that Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren will become those star players for them, those all-stars, those 20-point per game scorers. Excuse me, because now you have and now think about it. You have a Shea, 30-plus point per game MVP candidate, a wing that can shoot and cut to the basket in Williams, good size. Chet Holmgren, 7 foot tall, can shoot threes, can put the ball on the floor, get blocked. You have the potential for 3-star players that do well at different things, right? It's not often where you have guys that are stars in different roles. You don't get that often, right? And that's the potential that they have. And so it gets me to wonder, have they paid attention to their past? Because they had a Russell Westbrook with a Kevin Durant and a James Harden together. And when push came to shove, they could have paid the luxury tax. Owner decided to stick with Serge Ibaka and got rid of James Harden when he was such a key factor for them, right? Like, looking back on it, James Harden is a much better ball handler than Russell Westbrook. And then you get to put Russell Westbrook in a position where he can catch the ball and attack. Kevin Durant can catch the ball and attack. Harden put both of those guys in their right spot. And then you take him away, and they're wondering, and Westbrook and Durant are wondering who's going to take turns. Yeah, because the motherfucker that was deciding who was going to take the turns isn't there no more. And on top of that, you add a guy that can shoot in Roberson. Like, there's so many problems that came out of that situation. And if the Thunder do have 2 other stars in their hands, in Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren, are they going to make the same mistake? Because right now, if we're to picture this roster with an MVP candidate, like I said, in Shea, potential all-star in Williams, all-star in Holmgren, add that with an Alex Caruso, who's a really good role player, Isaiah Hartenstein, really good role player, then you have a starting lineup that really can compete with any team out there. Because you have Williams and Holmgren who could shoot the ball. Caruso's all right. Shea can shoot some threes also. More of a mid-range, obviously. And then you have a Hartenstein who needs to learn to get some to finish, but is a really great rebounder. And then you have their young guys on their bench. Like, they really have potential. Are they paying attention to what happened to them? Or are they going to, or are they going to fuck up? Are they going to follow what Boston did? Boston very easily, at any point in the last 2 to 3 years, they could have tried to break apart their duo. I think it's a safe bet. I didn't watch closely enough, but I thought their problem were no big and needed one more decent wing. Yeah, man. It's we've seen this in the NBA too, right? Where they break a team up too early. Right? The Celtics, had they broken this team up last year, they wouldn't be here with a championship this year. Had they done it 2 years ago, they wouldn't be here. Like, so many GMs nowadays, they don't put enough time into it, not understanding that shit takes time. It's gonna take time for Hartenstein to develop his offense. It's going to take time for Caruso to develop this gap filler and his jump shot. He needs to be a better jump shooter. And obviously, it's gonna take time for Williams and Holmgren to develop and become all-stars as well. Isaiah Joe, you would also look at to relieve stress, but I agree. They need to try to win now because it's hard to keep teams together for tons of reasons. Yeah. And that's the hard part, right? You just touched on it. They need to try to win now. When the reality is, if we're looking at a timeline, they made it to the semifinals in the playoffs, right? And they're young. So they're all of a sudden going to get fast-tracked. Oh, you made it to the semifinals. That means you got to make the conference finals next year and then the NBA finals the year after that. It's like they can get knocked out of the first round of the playoffs next year, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. Because you need to give teams 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 years, as we've seen with the Celtics, with the core guys, to just keep running it back like we've seen. The losses and the experience they gained from that is so important. If you just keep swapping pieces, you're gonna get guys that have never been in that spot. They don't know what it feels like to take those losses. So hopefully they stick it out with these guys. I know contracts are gonna be difficult. Money keeps going crazy in the NBA. And that's the double-edged sword that you get, right? If your guys play well, you run the risk of losing them. You do a great job of developing a player. You put them in great spots to be successful. You run a great risk of losing that guy. So that's the tough bet. And that's why you get some of these teams that, they try to sit players down. Don't make the 65 game minimum threshold. Don't make the minute threshold. Don't get the points. And it's really because of shit like that. Someone plays well, you run the risk of losing them. And yeah, they get overpaid, and you're just sitting there like, fuck, man. But yeah, man, that's real unfortunate. Now, I've obviously been talking about my MVP. This should say 2025. So I've obviously been talking about Shea, who is my 2024, in my opinion, my MVP this past season. Who would be the favorites for the MVP in this upcoming season? Now, I've already mentioned Steph Curry is one. I think this is why I'm bringing this up. I think Steph Curry is a sleeper pick. Yeah, they have it where we all see it, but yeah, you get situations like you're saying where Brown walks from champs, then KCP leaves a year later. Yeah. Oh yeah, that KCP. I mean, congrats to and for imagine that as a teammate, man. Like, you gotta be like, man, I'm real happy you just got 80 mil, 60 mil, whatever the contract is. But you gotta also be thinking, dang, if you took a little bit less, you could have stayed with us and we could have ran it back. Like, we know what we doing. Like, we're so close. So that's definitely tough for the Nuggets, because they were also one of those guys this year, right? In this coming year, who's a favorite for the championship, and their guy is also going to be a favorite for the MVP award, which is Nikola Jokic. I have a sleeper though, because there's gonna be the obvious. Everyone's gonna say Luka, Shea, Jokic, Embiid. Like, I have my sleepers. The first one, obviously, we were talking about him earlier, was Steph. I think Paolo is a sleeper, bro. I think Paolo Banchero is a sleeper. And I don't think he gets it, even if he plays well or even if I think he deserves it, because obviously he's playing in Orlando. But they made it to the playoffs this year somehow. Ja. I was just talking about him the other day too. Ja Morant. People are fickle and forgot how good he is. I think he has something to prove. Yeah, I'm just worried. For me, it was a right shoulder injury that he had. He's been out for just a long time. I hope that jumper is good. He hasn't played, but he's also getting older. Paolo, I think, because when you're on a bad team, dog, like, you get to put up numbers. I think, and I like his game a lot. I don't know if it's because the mellow style. I like Paolo Banchero's game a lot, yo. But Steph, for me, is definitely a dark horse. I guess he's not really a dark horse or a sleeper, but for me, I think he might run that table for MVP next year. Like I said, Paolo Banchero. I was just talking about Ja Morant. That's a good shout, Elijah. Ja is a good shout. And obviously the usuals. I do think it's a good chance, in my opinion. There's a good chance Shea has another phenomenal year and Luka does too. For me, it'll depend with the two bigs when it comes to Joel. Obviously, it's going to come down to health. Excuse me. If he were healthy, he would have won it this year. And for Jokic, are they going to make any deals, any trades? Is he going to feel the lack of output to where he feels like he needs to pick up? Because if he picks up, his numbers are already phenomenal, right? He's already 25, like 27 and 11 or 12. So if he picks it up any more, forget about it. It's game over. It's a triple-double. So, those are obviously the guys I'm going to look out for. Paolo's exactly what a number one pick should be. He immediately came in and wasn't perfect, but made a difference from the jump. Plays hard, makes a difference. And I don't know, maybe I was just stupid, but he's a big motherfucker, bro. Like, I don't think he should necessarily be playing the 4 all the time, but he's a massive dude. Like, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem. When that contract, when his contract comes up, that's going to be a conversation for sure, bro. Like, I'm sure teams are going to try to get him. But, I got this, because I seen this shit.
Play over the top.
I seen this because, bro.
Play over the top. Mitchell Robinson has a nice dunk that won't count. Just courtside.
Exactly. And by the way, they don't have many roster spots.
No.
So all these guys are competing for the few remaining spots. Watch this guy.
Look at this shit, bro. Who the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck? Yo. Nah, this shit's sick, bro. Dog. I love and hate this part of the year, dog, because we see all the role players turn into fucking Michael Jordan. Playing guys like that in the AAU, the circuit was a big what the fuck. Yeah, bro. That shit is crazy. You see the big 6'7" motherfucker over here grabbing the rebound, bringing the... First of all, Mitchell Robinson in these clips moving way better than Wemby. What the fuck is going on? Like, yo, I hate, like, who is some of the worst? It's gotta be Ben Simmons. Has gotta be like the top, right? He's gotta be the greatest And when I mean the greatest, like compared to their in NBA season play, like this guy played nothing like this. Don't worry about it. He'll be injured again before training camp. Why y'all not bring back pressure? Bro, don't be saying no shit like that about him getting injured again. I don't know, bro. I don't know what they doing. I don't know what they doing, bro. I don't know what they doing over there. I guess the money going there. The money went to OG for sure. And now, bro, and the part that's tripping me out is now they're gonna ask Jalen Brunson to take a pay cut next year. Dog, like that's the shit that don't be making sense to me. Like, why didn't OG take a pay cut? Don't Jalen deserve the bread? Like, huh? I don't know, bro. I don't know how to. I'm telling you, when it comes to the contracts, I'm stupid. Don't be paying attention to me. I don't know how none of that shit works. It's just there's a way that I think it should happen, and it obviously I don't know how it works. But listen, bro, some off-season legends. Who else? Who was another one, bro? Who was another one? Was it Will Barton? There was another guy on the Sixers that used to go crazy in the Drew League, bro. He used to have the craziest handles. Was it Barton? I mean, he really could score for real, too, in the NBA. I'm forgetting. I'm blanking on him, bro. But he used to do crazy shit in like, the Drew League and Jamal crossover shit. Crazy stuff, bro. Crazy stuff. Ben Simmons offseason is crazy. That Mitchell Robinson, I think I've seen it before, but, like, it popped up on my shit again, and I'm like, nah, bro. This guy, like, why they be doing this shit, bro? Like... You don't play nothing like this in the league, bro. Imagine Mitchell Robinson plays like this for the Knicks. Dog, imagine. Imagine he do a pick and pop with Jalen Brunson, and this is what he doing from the 3-point line. Imagine. We need that shit, bro. But no, he motherfucker get injured. And we're going to talk about that in a second, too. But we got some off-season demons in the NBA. Guys turn a 99 overall once the off-season hit. Dog, if you don't get your ass out of here. Now, that's why I say Wemby talks are unfair. They're like, we never seen it before yet because he has unlimited freedom. There's a reason why old bigs used to make the 1-3 they took. Yeah, that, and you know what's crazy too? A lot of people were giving Shaq a lot of shit for saying, you know, this is what, what's his name? Bol. This is what, what's his name, bro? Why am I blanking? Who the other tall dude? Not sure I'm making sense, but if everyone was awarded the same freedom, we would have saw guys do the same stuff. I don't know if it was exactly the same, right? I do think there's levels to shit, right? But yeah, I don't think that those guys got the same they got the same opportunities. Who's the guy on Phoenix, dog? Why am I fucking blanking right now? Bobo, who's the other dude, bro? Who the other tall dude? It's Bobo and someone else. But anyway, like, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, there's players that we've seen that you just look at it like, man, I wish they would have let you. And obviously there's certain shit you get, you know, some fans don't realize this. You could be a great offensive player. Sometimes if you're not a great defensive player, like coaches really dig into that, you don't get the same kind of freedom. You're forced to do certain shit. There's some coaches that prefer older players, veteran players versus younger players. That plays so many things play factors, so that, you know, this goes back into these off-season legends that when they get into organized basketball, it's totally different. And we know this, right? We know this. We know that those guys are playing a fraction of what they're able to do in the NBA, because that's how good the NBA is. There's, you know, they're a great ball handler compared to 99% of the world, but compared to the 1%, they're not even in the top 100. Like, that's how good NBA players are, right? And so you limit certain guys from doing certain things, but when they get into the offseason, they get to show off. They get to show us their bag. But hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Now, this is what it was. Seeing those clips of Robinson reminded me of seeing this.
I'm 280 now. Last year I'm 260. It was between 250 and 260.
What'd you come into the league at?
223.
How did we forget, dog?
A muscle in 2 years?
Yeah, mixed in with a little fat. Just a little bit though.
That's big time.
Just very little.
That trainer, I don't know who that trainer is over here saying that's big time. Are we serious, bro? Like, I'm all for putting weight on. Like, I'm all for putting some muscle on, putting some weight on. But we're obviously seeing with these guys, Andre Drummond, the offseason magician. Yo, Andre Drummond be having a crazy handle in the offseason, bro. Crazy handle. Yo, what's his name too? Aaron Gordon be like, he be going crazy in the offseason too, because he don't get to dribble in the NBA. Like, you seen him go one-on-one, not one-on-one, but we seen him go up against like Kevin Durant and shit, going toe-to-toe. Like, Aaron Gordon is nice. But, you know, Mitchell Robinson was over there talking about coming into the NBA at 223. I believe he's listed on the NBA right now. Let's see. Oh, this should just put him at 275. See, on Basketball References, he's still registered at 240. That boy be in his bag. That's facts. And, you know, we're seeing these players put on all of this quote unquote muscle weight, and they're losing so much of their athleticism. Like, I get Mitchell Robinson is still a rebounder. He definitely had to put on some weight, but was it worth losing all of that athleticism that made you good also? Like, to be able to catch the ball and make a play? Because now he get the ball and he looked like a non-agile big. Like, he don't look like that. We look at Luka Doncic, who seems to be gaining more and more weight every single year. He's definitely, I don't know what they think he weigh. He weigh nothing like that no more. Zion obviously has had a weight problem ever since he's joined the NBA. Jokic, they've, you know, it's different recently, but that was a point of a topic for him for a while. Embiid, I think, they don't talk about that motherfucker need to lose some weight too. Like, is there a weight problem in the NBA? It's because I remember there was a time in the NBA where everyone was trying to lose weight. And I don't know if it's, you know, like a social media thing over the past 10 to 15 years. There was a shift because everybody was trying to become bodybuilders. Everybody want to get jacked. Everybody want to get the muscles. And now everyone is, you know, a lot of people don't understand this. And I got into a whole argument about players' weight with this guy, with Shaq. Because I was saying, you know, Shaq said he's weighed like almost 400 pounds or whatever. And this guy said it's not even close. A lot of folks don't understand what an NBA schedule actually entails. What do you think happens after they play a game? If the team don't provide a meal for them, what do you think they're eating at? What time do a game end? If a game starts at 8, they get out of there at like 11. They shower, press conference, they're probably there until 12. What do you think they're eating at midnight? You think they're eating a gourmet meal with all the vegetables that, like, are you guys dead ass? players gain weight during the season. Not to mention that not all of these teams, they're not working out like that consistently. I say yes, Braun Thought was a good example. That's one player I can think of that looks what he needs to improve and will drop or gain weight. Yeah, Braun I think is in, there were certain times in his career where he felt like he needed to lose weight and certain times where he needed to gain. I do think, especially for the NBA, I do think guys got to be on the leaner side. And here's the other part too. I didn't know this. They have like the monitors, the heart monitors that tests like how hard you're working out. Supposedly, teams are now implementing, this what's it called, the management, the time management shit, load management. It's coming from teams. They're managing the amount of effort that players are putting in, telling them to sit down, sitting them during games. So you have to think like, guys are probably not working out as much as they are supposed to be or as much as they should be. Hence, guys are gaining more weight. They're probably not doing as much cardio. They're probably just getting their lifts in, eating a bunch of shit, and they're ballooning. And a part of it obviously is their fault. A part of it probably has to do with the team and sort of what their expectations and what they're asking out of these guys. Telling them to stop working out. Yes, bro, the tracker. Yeah, like, for me, it's weird. Like, you gonna tell someone to lose weight, but then you telling them that they're putting too much effort into the workout. Those two things don't even align, bro. Like, what? But I think we're seeing, there's, maybe we just have more players that are prone to gaining weight. I don't know what it is, but it seems like there is an issue with it at the moment, especially with the bigs. That are just, because before, I'm trying to think of who we had this issue with before, where we would look at, outside of like Boris Diaw, where when you look at him, you're like, bro, you look disgusting. Like, you are a whole NBA player looking like that. like bruh, like what are we doing? And obviously, I'm not saying like Mitchell Robinson, he's not fat. He's obviously put on a lot of muscle weight. But that weight is literally weighing him down. It's taking away from his flexibility, his athleticism, his jumping ability, his speed. Like, yeah, I think he should try to look to getting down to like 260, 255. Like 280 just seems like too big for him, bro. Like, now, one of the, this is going to be the last thing that where is this guy? Y'all seen this shit, bro? Bro. Y'all seen this shit?
Your NBA Mount Rushmore. So who are the 4 best players of all time?
Okay, I'm going to put Wilt.
Wilt.
Got to put Kobe.
Uh-huh.
I would say MJ. But
I would say MJ, but I heard that some of his stats was false. Oh, you saw the Tom Haberstroh report about the defensive player of the year. All right, so we're taking MJ off the Mount Rushmore for you.
Got Wilt, Kobe. You know what? I'm gonna put Ant in there.
Anthony Edwards in there already. All right, we got Anthony Edwards, and who's your fourth?
I'm gonna say Bam.
Yo, what the fuck did these kids be watching, bro? like what? Yo, nah, bro. Nah. There's no disrespect to Bam. Bam? Anthony Edwards? Bro, what did... I never thought I'd say this shit. Some of these kids got to get off the video games, bro. I'm so sorry. like y'all kids got to get off these video games, bro. Because how in the fuck? How in the fuck? Like, this is the time that we're... You know, I be forgetting, bro. I be forgetting, right? Michael Jordan retired in 2003. I've accepted that I'm an old head now. I'm okay with these street punks as dummies. Listen, I'm there with you, Elijah. I'm there with you. I had to look it up earlier because I was like, am I just stupid? Because Michael Jordan retired in 2003. 2003. It's 2024. It's been 21 years. Kobe retired 2015-2016 season. What year is that? I think it was 2015-2016 season, right? And then he passed away 2020, 4 years. Like, time has been moving, and the further we get away from some of these I don't know what to call them, these benchmarks in time, right? As a basketball fan, the further the actual players in the league are gonna be from those times as well. Like, a lot of these guys probably they've never even watched Michael Jordan on the Wizards, let alone the Chicago Bulls. Some of them don't even know what Froby is. They're building out their versions of it. And I think a part of it is this, right? We have to start, as the media, we have to start framing these questions better. Right? Because all they're doing is they're trying to bait these kids who don't know any better, right? Because you got to think, a lot of these guys probably just good at basketball, been playing video, and this just so happens to be what they ended up on. There's so many distractions nowadays, right? There's so much shit that kids do nowadays, and then they focused on it probably middle school, high school, and then they get to the NBA. I will say this also, right? Anthony Edwards was kind of the same thing. He was saying that he don't really watch basketball like that going into the draft. See him all these years later, clearly now he watches basketball, right? Watching film is something that you have to learn, right? Loving basketball, you can't teach that, right? If those are the players that he grew up on, talking about Kel'el Ware, if those are his Mount Rushmore, obviously he's not the greatest player. It's a specific question, you know, but it don't take away from his love of the game. You can learn how to watch film. You can learn how to study the game, right? But if these guys genuinely love the game, then we have to start accepting that their grades are different, right? Their first love when it comes to the game of basketball, the first person they saw dribble, shoot, and dunk is not going to be the same story that we had growing up. I guess my thing is, can you be a master in that field if you're not even aware of all the history? Is that even possible? Right? Is there enough time for you to learn about all of these things? I guess this is an old way of thinking for me, cause that seems like some old head gatekeeping shit. Cause isn't it on us to teach these 18-year-olds about the history of basketball instead of saying, motherfucker, you don't know what you talking about? No one's ever taught them, dog. People gotta teach them. Some I agree, but I also think this just we don't know how some of these kids grow up. Like Tyrese Halliburton literally said he learned how to play basketball from 2K. These are the type of kids that we're getting nowadays, right? Those old stories of Kobe saying he gotta ask for VHS tapes, and they don't have these stories. They got access to everything, and when everyone says we're in the smartest era because they're all the information, right? But here's the reality: everybody don't look shit up. Just because it's there don't mean everybody use it. A lot of folks want to pretend and act like, oh, because I see something, I go look it up myself because I'm interested in learning more, that everyone does that. Everybody don't do that. And I think it's on the NBA. This is on the NBA has done a great job of honoring their legends, right? And we've seen this. There isn't a veteran presence on these NBA teams. I think a part of this lies on the NBA. This is your product. This is your history. In order to keep your history intact as a league, you have to teach it to the generation that's coming up. And that comes with hiring the right people, teaching, like whatever that is. I think a part of it lands on the league, because like I said, I think, we just talked, we're in a different era right now. Like, kids are coming in doing TikToks and shit. It's those things that we expect out of 18-year-olds. For some reason, we don't expect an 18-year-old going into the NBA to have the same tendencies and to be doing the same thing, when the reality is that's their fucking group. They're just a foot taller and they know how to dribble and shoot a basketball well. Like, that's really the difference, right? But they're 18, 19-year-old kids. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. I hope that these fucking kids learn their shit. Maybe that's what we're here for. Get some of these motherfuckers come on here, talk about how Wilt didn't score 100 points. We be cooking some of these old heads too, I'm not gonna lie. Oh shit. Oh man, but that's funny, man. That's gonna do it for me today, yo. Listen, bro, I appreciate y'all for coming and hanging out with me on this beautiful Friday afternoon. I hope y'all go out there and enjoy the rest of y'all Friday. Have a great, beautiful weekend, man. Thank y'all for hanging out with me this week. I hope everybody had a great July 4th yesterday. As always, could have been anywhere on the internet, but you were here with me, and I really fucking appreciate you for that. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I'll see y'all next week. I'll see y'all Monday, man. Thanks for coming out. Elijah, I'll see you next week. Thank you guys. Peace.